Today on Monkey Life. Upsetting news for the team when Siamang gibbon Onion is taken to theatre.
How's that? How do I feel there? Fat. Sheesh. Fluid, that's not good.
Staff try to coax Capuchin Tao outside.
It's potentially quite a scary thing for Tao, having never been outside. He might be a little bit agoraphobic.
And keeping cool, the Stumpies are given a paddling pool. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is one of the oldest sanctuaries of its kind on the planet. For 25 years, the team have been rescuing and rehabilitating abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
Next stop, Monkey World in Hananya's group.
The park is led by Dr. Alison Cronin and is home to more than 240 monkeys and apes. There are two Siamang gibbons at Monkey World, Sam and his son Onion. Siamangs are the largest of all gibbons and also the loudest. Their song is distinctive as it's amplified by their huge throat sacs. Onion is just 11 years old. He was born at the park as part of the European Endangered Species breeding programme. But over the past few weeks, the veterinary team have become concerned about his health. So they've decided to investigate. As with all the primates, Onion has had to be anaesthetised to carry out tests.
For the last 10 days now, his appetite's been very variable, and we don't really know what's going on with him. The blood samples haven't been particularly helpful, and he's also got a mild bacterial infection which may or may not be significant.
An X-ray shows some stones in Onion's gut.
He has these stones, and on first glance they look as if they're in the bladder area, in the pelvis, and they should be coming on through. We feel that we need to look in there and try and remove them and see if that will get things right. The problem is, we're not going in here saying this is the reason, and if we take those out he's going to be better, because we don't know why he's eaten them in the first place. Has he eaten stones because he doesn't feel well? Does he just want to play around with them in his mouth and then, oops, I've eaten them? We've never seen any stones come out in either their feces, for example.
The team are particularly worried about the stones because in 2009, Onion's mum Sage tragically died when she swallowed a fruit stone which perforated her gut. They can't take any chances. They have to operate.
He can't go on as he is because he's not really eating to any degree. He chews it round in his mouth. He's not a happy animal at all. And that's upsetting to his father, Sam, who he's very, very close to. And Sam is almost intensely grooming him, pushing him. Come on, why do you want to play? Why aren't you doing this? So the whole behaviour is changing with him.
Mike and his veterinary colleague Thezar prepare Onion for surgery. The team will monitor him carefully throughout the procedure.
Right, he's come down to about 90.
Before they begin, Mike and Thezar feel Onion's belly for anything unusual.
Yeah, what do you think? It's super prominent.
Here, just here. That spleen on that side? Here, just under my finger. I mean, that's quite firm there. Yeah.
They've found an abnormal swelling. Things could be far more serious than they first thought. While the team work on Onion, away from the hospital, everyone is taking it easy. At the Stumpy enclosure, staff have decided to help the macaques keep cool.
We're going to give them a tub with just some water in. We've put it on a slight slant, so there's going to be a deep end, a shallow end, and a bit at the front which won't have water in it at all. We're just going to put some food in it for them, and they can choose to come and sit in it or just look over the edge and reach for some food that way. Their wild diet is mainly fruit, but it is kind of made up of other things as well, like seeds, flowers, buds. They will eat freshwater crabs and also frogs as well, so it kind of shows that they would go close to the water in the wild. We'll spread the rest of the food everywhere, so they have got a choice whether they come and use the tub or not. They can still have some of their favourite foods, so hopefully it will keep them busy for quite a long time. Come on, guys!
Noreen ignores the paddling pool, but quickly grabs some of the food that's been scattered, while Paddy sensibly sits in the shade. These ugly monkeys, as they're affectionately known, were all overweight when they arrived at the park because they spent most of their lives in laboratories being used for research, so didn't get much exercise. There's a strict pecking order in the group, which means the more dominant macaques have priority when it comes to food. But lowest ranker Phil, who has least authority in the group, has quietly managed to get his hands on some of the goodies. Charlie is keen to put Cola in her place. Leader Sam is the first to investigate the pool, although he doesn't want to paddle.
Yay, Sam! Good boy!
Dominant female Kelly decides to take the plunge, and she's soon reaping the rewards. When low-ranking Cola tries to take her turn, Maureen pushes her out of the way. Noreen's next to investigate, delicately picking out the seeds, but then decides she might as well get wet.
If we can do anything to get them moving just a little bit and try and lose some of that weight that some of them have, it's good. You can see their little legs working and them trying to steady themselves. So, yeah, I think it's working their muscles, which is really good.
Once everyone's had enough, Phil manages to sneak in there, but with all the fruit gone, he has to settle for the dregs. At the park's hospital, the team are very worried about Simon Gibbon Onion. They're about to open him up to investigate an abnormal swelling they've discovered in his belly. As soon as Mike makes the incision, there's another sign that something's wrong.
Oh, this fluid, that's not good.
Oh, gosh.
That is not good. But that doesn't show on the X-ray, does it?
No.
So much fluid in the abdominal cavity is bad news. Mike needs to find out if the stones Onion has swallowed are the cause.
The stones are immediately here. I've gotten them.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
They're in the cecum.
Yeah.
You know, it's not uncommon.
The stones aren't the problem. They're in a part of the gut where they won't cause any harm. But Mike has come across something else.
What the hell's that? I have a feeling there.
What is that?
They found the lump they felt before they started operating.
Fatty.
Well, it's solid. It's really, really firm. That's abnormal as far as I'm concerned. Oh, he's got a tumour.
It's like a massive tumour.
Sugar.
It's a dreadful shock for the team, and they don't yet know whether Onion's tumour is operable. At Monkey World's hospital, the park's vet Mike Nathan and his colleague Thazar are trying to remove what looks like a massive tumour from Simon Gibbon Onion's stomach.
This is it. The stones are secondary. This is where the spleen should
And
be.
it's not possible that that's anything other than a tumour?
I don't think so.
They can only cut out the tumour if it's not firmly attached to Onion's vital organs.
this is operable or is not. That's the question. So we need to check. We need to give it the benefit of the doubt. Let's crack on and...
Yeah, obviously we don't want him to be in pain. If we can have a go at removing what we can and see how he goes.
Yeah. It's attached to the abdominal wall down there. This is unoperable. This looks bad, Alison.
That's all right.
Yeah, I'm very sorry.
It's bad news. No one was expecting this.
The spleen has been completely
Taken over.
infiltrated by this mass. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I'm very sorry.
Sorry.
You guys all good with that? Everybody in agreement?
Can you get the euthytal, Jeremy? And we can inject it into the vein that's there already.
Mike has no choice. He can't save Onion, so he has to put him to sleep. The tumour is too big. It only takes a few moments for Onion to slip away. It's devastating for everyone. Mike was there when Onion was born.
If you've got a loved pet that has something that's inoperable, to bring it back round to die slowly is horrible. I feel particularly sad because he was my caesarean. We've tried to treat the simple things first, and the things we can't treat, you have to be realistic, sadly.
Onion had an eventful life at the park. His birth was very dramatic.
This is a big baby.
Mike had to do an emergency caesarean when his mum Sage got into problems.
Whoa, it's been a rough start.
But from the moment he was born, he proved to be very popular with the staff.
Onion was a lovely boy. He was a lot of fun. He had a really good character. Very, very playful, very affectionate towards us and towards his dad as well. When Onion's mum died, obviously he was a little bit sad. Like any animal losing a parent, it's a big shock, and life is very, very different. He was very lucky that he has Sam, a very supportive dad, and he has a very close relationship with, and they just bounced off each other to help each other through it. If they were in the house, they'd be together. If they were outside, they'd be together, up in the trees, singing together every day as well. So just watching him having that close bond with his dad, it was just so beautiful to see.
Deaths are all part of life at the park, but so too are births, and a recent arrival is keeping the primate care staff busy. Woolly monkey Lena had a baby boy along with Dad Wasker, and the keepers have finally decided on a name.
We've decided to call him Milo, which includes the initials of both of his parents as well, so it's a bit sentimental. Milo's fantastic. He's really advanced for such a little woolly. He's already coming off of his mum, so he's quite brave, and to do that he has to feel really secure in the group that nobody's going to harm him. So that's brilliant. He's also already climbing, which is very early for such a young man, and he's starting to try and walk on the ground. We always try and be a little bit cautious, but they're doing a brilliant job without us intervening at all, so we're just going to let them carry on being a family, and as long as they carry on doing a fantastic job, we've got nothing to worry about.
Since having Milo, Lena's status within the group has risen, and Wasker is paying her more attention. But staff are keen to make sure the other two females, Quappa and Zingu, are not left out.
Today we've made some frozen treats for Oski's group of woolly monkeys. They're just a mixture of raspberries all squished up and yoghurt mixed together. Part of me thinks that they might pick it up and then throw it on the floor because it's cold. But hopefully, maybe when it thaws out a little bit and it gets a little bit warmer, they'll enjoy them more.
The woolies are excited at the sight of the frozen treats, and Lena is straight in there. Not wanting to be left out, Dad Wasker digs in. He's quite happy to get his hands dirty and even tries to steal Lena's.
They seem quite happy.
Quapper's now got in on the action too. And even baby Milo is having the odd crumb.
He does taste solid, so whenever we put food in, he is taking bits. So he has had a little bit of a lick of this. So definitely, he tries to taste everything, really, that he can get his hands on. But woolly monkeys don't tend to give their babies food. The babies have to pick it up, and a lot of the time, they'll pick up what's been dropped onto their mum. So he'll pick food off her, and then when she sits down, he'll be able to get off and grab his own food. So he has to work for a little bit, even at a tiny age.
Woolly monkeys come from South America, and in the wild, their diet mainly consists of fruit. But they'll also eat nuts, seeds, leaves, flowers, insects, and even small reptiles. Here at the park, Oscar seems to be quite happy with his raspberry treats. Another new arrival at the park is finally beginning to make friends. Capuchin Tao, who was recently rescued from Slovenia, has settled in nicely with the boys, but today will mark a major milestone in his life. He's going to be allowed outside. Tao was kept as a pet and for 5 years lived in a basement room with no natural sunlight.
It's quite hard to sort of predict what Tao might do. It's potentially quite a scary thing for Tao, having never been outside. He might be a little bit agoraphobic, so there's a high chance that he'll be a little bit reluctant to venture out today. Having said that, he quite often follows some of the other monkeys, so he may just see them all going outside and trottle along behind them. So yeah, it's going to be really exciting to see exactly what happens.
Staff have chosen 4 boys to keep Tao company who've been particularly friendly to him.
Come on, boys!
Winslow and Bruce take the lead, and Diaz quickly follows. But Tao doesn't seem keen to go with them, preferring the security of the bedroom. Diaz tries to encourage his friend out, while Winslow is more interested in his stomach. Bruce hot-foots it on the hoses, but Tao's still reluctant.
He seems quite tired this morning. He's been quite active first thing and sort of eating and moving around and sort of exploring, and I think it's all just taken its toll on him now. And for the last half hour or so, he's been asleep on his blanket in his tube, so it's going to be a big change for him to go out there, and it's quite a big, wide open space that he's not really used to, so it could take sort of a few hours, or it could take a few days for him to sort of get brave enough to go out.
Finally, when the others aren't watching, Tao makes a break for it. And it's not long before he's on the hoses. Staff are hoping this kind of exercise will help to build up his wasted muscles. In the wild, Capuchins forage for their food, but having been a pet, Tao has never had to do this. So he amazes everyone when he takes Bruce's lead and begins to dig out some worms.
I would never have thought that on his first day he'd actually be foraging around, and also the way he's been moving is amazing when you think back to what he was like a month ago, and now he's clambering on the cargo net, which some of our other boys are quite nervous to do, and although he still looks a little bit ungangly at times, he's coping very well. It hasn't been that long since he's been here at Monkey World. It's been just over a month. So to think of all the things he's actually gone through since he's come here, and just how relaxed he actually looks out there is really amazing. There's a long way to go, but it's good to see these positive signs early on.
At the Siamang house, Onion's father Sam is all alone.
It's never the individuals who pass away, especially if it's relatively peaceful. It's the individuals that get left behind that are so sad. And now, of course, all of our thoughts turn to Sam, and how's he gonna get on with his life, and how is he gonna be okay? And now it's a case of we have to decide, what do we do for him in the long run? should he go back out into his enclosure all on his own. And that's my greatest concern, is letting him out into that huge stand of trees and then him freaking out trying to find his family. It's very sad, but in my mind anyway, the one thing that he does still have here is his home. And so we'll let him back out into his home, and hopefully he'll feel comfortable and confident enough that he's okay to ride it out as a single male Siamang gibbon for the short term, and then we'll start making plans for future.
Gibbons need company, and it may be that Sam will end up having to leave the park.
Actually, the only thing that matters in my mind is Sam's welfare and happiness. So if that's him staying here and us bringing a mate to him, good. If that's him actually going someplace else because he can be with a mate on a nice island someplace else, that's okay too. Sam's very important to everybody here at Monkey World, so we will ensure 100% that his future is planned out, looked after, and that he's going to have a good and a happy one.
Next time on Monkey Life, the staff gear up to welcome a new face at the park.
From Louisville, Kentucky, the last female woolly monkey in America, and she's here. So, yeah, finally.
And vying for Jeremy's attention...
Where are we going? All right, we're going.
Oisin goes head-to-head with Sylvester.
Hey, no.